That is a huge try. What a pass again. Oh, that's a bullet book. Opens up. Huge hole through the middle.
And Danny Norman charging up the field for a team, trying to get them home in this series.
You are listening to the Touch Szn podcast. Here are your hosts, Danny Norman and Mitch Walkerton.
G'day, guys. How you going? Welcome to Touch Szn's podcast about all things touch footy on and off the field. I'm Mitch Walkerton and my co-host, Danny Norman. Hi, Danny. How are you?
Good, thanks, Mitch. How's your week been?
Week's been fantastic. Been really, really good on and off the field
Awesome.
with touch. So, yeah, going great. How about yours?
Nice. I actually had a little bit of an injury in the last week, which is a bit disappointing. I rolled my ankle pretty badly at training and haven't been running since, so a little
Not
bit
good.
nervous to see how that plays out. Yeah, I've got a really, really good, I know this, I was probably think I'm about to say physio, but it's not. I have a really, really good Pilates instructor
Oh,
who has a incredible background in sport and dance, and she's amazing. So I've been working really closely with her the last week to get some strength and mobility back in my foot. I think it's actually my Achilles. I don't think it's my ankle, which is an old woman's injury, which is pretty sad. So yeah, hopefully it's nothing too sinister and serious. I'm going to have a run with the girls at training tomorrow night,
okay.
and have a run at Super Series, and yeah, see how I go.
Okay, shout out to the Pilates teacher. You got to fix up
Yeah.
Danny's ankle, leg. There's big games coming in the coming months.
Thanks, Em, at Pilates & Co. You're a legend.
Yeah, there you go. Cheeky plug. Look, we've got a big episode, Danny. We've
Yeah.
got some news with regards to TFA changing NTLs. We've got Metro Cup. We've done 5 rounds. We've got the Vawdon Cup, a bit of a preview there. So let's dive into it.
Let's go. Let's rip in.
So last week, I think TFA made an announcement that they are changing the way that the NTLs / the championships are going to be structured. A couple of the highlights are going back to finals on Saturday, men's,
Love that.
women's.
I've literally written that in my notes. Hell yeah. Saturday Arvo finals.
Yeah, I think it's great for engagement. I think it's good for Port,
Yeah.
it's good for Coffs Harbour. I was going to say Port Macquarie. You know, it's an extra day off work, but you know, the touch heads, they don't care. The people from Perth,
No.
the people from Victoria, they don't care. The ones
Well,
from
it makes
Sydney.
it worth the trip, right? If you're going to come that far to play in the NTL, you want to get your money's worth.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't speak, and I'd love to talk to someone that does travel from the interstate or from the NT to the WA and
Yeah.
reach out and see what their opinion is. But
Yeah,
yeah, I think you're getting your money's worth. I mean, when I say that, it's an extra day's accommodation. It's an extra, maybe a little bit more expensive on flights. I'm not sure. But yeah, you're getting a 4-day tournament.
yeah,
You're
for
getting
sure.
an epic atmosphere with the Saturday final. So I'm
Yeah.
all for that side of things.
Yeah, I am too. Going back to 40-minute games, 2 20-minute halves.
Great.
Great call.
Well done.
I know that you're based in the Goldie, so you play a lot of the Queensland tournaments. Like New South Wales, we don't, like Vawdon is now turnaround, touchdown turnaround.
Oh, no
one half.
way.
Yeah.
When did that
Yeah.
change?
Within the new format, because they've
Oh,
now got
my goodness.
they've now got double headers and triple headers on Sundays, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, I get
know,
that, yeah.
And so it's just not physically possible to play 40-minute games for
Mm,
3 of them, or 2
No.
of them on a Friday night sort of thing. So
yeah, fair enough.
New South Wales people, apart from Origin, and the odd tournament, don't really play a lot of 40-minute games of touch. So I think that's
Yeah.
huge plus. The oldies, the Masters division. Danny, this
Oh, I'm nearly into that, so I'm all ears
cut
for this
it.
one.
give me a break, please, Danny. They can play with 16 players unless my eyes are deceiving me. So
No, there's pros and cons to that. And I've seen a little bit of chat online. I think pros for injury things
Absolutely.
and that side of thing, great. Yes, awesome. Cons, if you're paying a lot of money to come up and play and getting limited game time, I just don't know how a 16-way sub's going to work.
neither do I. Would you go 7? Let's
7
go
middle, 8 middles.
8 middles, guys, 7 links, and we're going to run with 3 wingers.
Quick
Or-
maths. Yeah, 3 wingers, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know how that rotation's going to work. So, yeah, I'm not really sure about that one. Maybe if it's an option,
Yeah,
like
so
it's not, you have to have 16. I think that's not a case even with the 14. Like you don't have to have limit. But yeah, I think if they have it as an option for them, people should be able to utilize it if they want.
what I think most teams will probably do just my 2 cents, they'll pick their 14 and they'll sit 2 people off. In the event that someone gets injured during the game, then one of the people who was sitting off would then come in, so you continue to play with 14. That would be how
that's thinking.
Well, I'm an old fella, right? So
yeah, you get it.
yeah,
That's a good one.
Yeah, you come to State Cup in December and you see the over 40s, hammies, calves,
Oh.
quads, twang, gone. You'll end up with
That is honestly my favourite part of State Cup though. Going out to the backfields for the Masters finals and watching all the old boys and women like having a crack out on the backfields at the back end of the tournament. It is so inspiring. I have loved that for years. Honestly, it's like my favourite part of a New South Wales State Cup.
If there's anything better than a man in his 50s diving at a quickie in almost slow motion and then struggling to get up to play the ball, oof. You're getting the blood.
I love it.
Oh, Danny.
Yeah. You got me going. Yeah, honestly, it's the best.
Yeah. Other changes, have to play for the region before the
eligibility rules, yes.
Yeah. So do you want
I think there's a bit of a loophole as I'm reading through that. I think there's going to be ways around it, to be completely honest. I don't know how that's going to work. I am a big believer in regions still existing, so I love this rule, and I think it is so fair that they are enforcing you have to represent your region first. It's similar to what the school system does.
Yep.
How they make you play for
NYC.
your... Correct. You have to play for your school system before you can then go and play for a region. So for the school system, obviously the focus is playing and representing through the school pathway, and for the NTL system, it's going through the region pathway. So I'm all for that, and I think that's great. But I still think there's going to be loopholes for clubs to be able to play as a club, if that makes sense.
Yeah, look, potentially.
I could be reading it wrong, and also I don't really know that much about it. So it's all so new. So I think we're all just trying to navigate it and wrap our heads around it. I'd love to talk to someone from TFA. Maybe we get them on as a guest and get them to break it down a little bit.
I think it'd be really beneficial to do that down the track, yeah.
Yeah,
I've actually had a change of heart. I used to be club shouldn't be there. Spoke to a mate of mine who lives in Brisbane, and his daughter played with the Mustangs in 20s at NTLs, the championships this year.
NTLs, yeah.
And, you know, the big distance that the Queenslanders have to travel, I guess similar to some of the country affiliates in New South Wales, like Suns and Hornets and whatnot. But I think so long as they play opens for the region has to be, very strong for opens and 20, sort of the power divisions. If there still are players available.
Oh, yes, agreed.
Then it makes sense. The event's growing. So I have sort of, changed my tune somewhat that, clubs, can participate and, be part of the journey. So.
Do you know what I'd actually love to see, Mitch? And I don't know if this is something that is possible or it's adding too much to the Touch calendar, but to get clubs more involved on a national level, I guess, instead of having them at an NTLs, I'd love to see the top 4 or top 2 or 3 or whatever from a Vawdon Cup and a Metro Cup come together and play. The only problem there is that's for the elite level and it's not for your under 20s or Masters divisions and things like that. So that would be more of an elite competition, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would really work. But I would love to see that. And I'd love to see it more around the top teams from Victoria Clubland, the top teams from WA Clubland. Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. It'd be really good to see
a club challenge.
Yeah, just logistically, costs, all those things. They're the ones that are going to, trying to fit it into a calendar.
Well, I think that's where how busy are we, right? And I think that's where not Elite 8, I'm having a brain fart. The Premiership, I think that's where that fell over because it was so hard navigating a Premiership game with a Metro Vawdon Cup with a tournament coming up here, whatever it is there. So, yeah, I think that's where that fell over. And it probably, and I know it would have cost a lot of money for that to run. Sure.
Yeah, absolutely it did. So,
yeah.
Yeah. What are the other changes, if any, that you like that they've implemented, the TFA guys?
Look, I'm the same as you. I love the 4-day event. I'm loving that it's Wednesday to Saturday. Saturday Arvo finals, 40-minute games is a big win. And the 16s for the Masters age groups, those were really the only major things that I took note out of it.
Yep.
But yeah, I think with the new leadership and change of TFA and what's going on in the national world of touch football for Australia, changes are naturally going to come.
Yep.
It's like when you get a new boss at work, things change, people change. It's crazy. So I'm not going to be surprised if we see more changes even before now in 2026 NTLs or the championship. Sorry, I've still got NTLs in my head. I'd like for them to change the name back. Can we please change the name back?
Yeah, well, we'll bring that up when the next time we talk to someone with TFA.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny, we've got a fair bit of touch going on at the moment. We've got the Metro Cup, which we're almost at the halfway point. Have you been keeping your eye on how things are progressing and how both the men and the women, but starting with the women, are all sort of going?
Yeah, I've definitely been keeping my eye on this one. Can I just say before I roll into it though, Mitch, I listen to a lot of sports podcasts, and there's been some touch footy podcasts and platforms in the past. I don't think there's enough covered on the women's game. So I don't really know the men's game as well.
Yeah.
So for the listeners that are tuning in right now, I have a lot more to offer in the women's game, and I probably will ramble on a little bit more on the women's side of things and lightly touch on the men's side of things. I'm not that much of an expert on the men's side of the game, if that makes sense.
But that makes a perfect yin for my yang, because I know more about the men's game. Like, I watch the women's games, of course.
Yeah.
But you're a current player, and so you're, of course, going to be knowing more about, the women's game. So
yeah, great.
That's where I'm going to know, because I watch maybe more men's than you.
And I watch more women. So that's just how it works.
Glad we got that covered.
Okay, going into the standings.
Yes.
Across
Redlands
both divisions, Redlands on top as well. That's literally what I was about to say. I'm not surprised either. Redlands men's have back-to-back championships, stacked team, good coaches, not surprised. Redlands women's have really invested this year with quality experience, bunched with really exciting, fresh new talent. And some really smart coaching behind Adam Pride involved there too.
He coached the
Aussie men's.
Yeah, and he coached
mixed?
the Aussie
18s or 20s mixed.
20s mixed, he did.
I should know that.
All good. Shout out to Pride.
Awesome. But he's someone that is very clever, knows what he's talking about, and it shows in the style that they're playing. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that they're on top at the moment. On the women's ladder, we've got UQ coming in second. Again, no surprises, have won that many premierships in the Metro Cup. Third, Southern Storm, close contenders for the last couple of years. It was only a week or two ago they were on top. So a lot's changed in the last couple of rounds in the first half of the season. Country Colts in fourth, and then my poor darling Gold Coast women's coming in fifth. I've got a lot to comment on the Gold Coast women's, and I think that score doesn't reflect the team that they are and what they have capable and what they can offer, I guess.
Yeah.
So it is disappointing to see them in the bottom of the ladder. But as a really young, fresh team, I for those who don't know, I live on the Gold Coast and am a part of that team. I train with them week in, week out. I just needed the Metro season off this year because I've had a really hectic first 12 months going back to work after having my son and touch football heavies. But yeah, training with the girls, they're awesome. Really, really keen to learn. Got a little bit of experience coming in now as well. So there's a nice balance starting to happen.
That always helps.
Yeah, for sure. You need the level heads leading them around and telling them and showing them and leading by example, honestly. So, yeah.
Absolutely. If you look at the scores, Danny, if you look at the scores, they've been pumped in one game, but they've been in every other game, right? So you look at the ladder, and you go, 0 wins. But, you dig a little bit deep, you look at the results, change a couple of plays here or there, and then suddenly 100%. You've got 2 wins. So what's the spirit like? What's the vibes like within the girls? Still bouncing around and positive?
Running rings around me all the time. They're so bloody fast. Vibes are okay. I mean, it is hard losing every week.
Yep.
I think this is their second season as a group in the women's division too. So they want to win and they're striving and hungry for that win, but it is deflating losing every week. But I wouldn't say the vibes are low. I think everyone's intent to want to turn up to training, train hard, buy into what we're doing is still there.
Yep.
There's always room for improvement though. Like I'm a strong believer in that. And I think once you set the bar, you can only go higher and higher and higher. So, yeah, they're still very, very much keen.
Yep.
And we're at the midway point of the season. So they've got Redlands coming up this Friday. So that'll be a really tough clash for them. But they only lost on the hooter to them in the first round.
That's right.
And I mean, that's round one. But both teams would have developed a little bit since then. So I'm really keen to see where that's going. And obviously the draw to UQ, that was a really big game for the girls. And there were snippets in that game. Lily Ava, one of our young Gold Coasters, I think she's only 15, which is insane. Yeah, scoring on the hooter in a clutch moment. Like that sort of stuff is where they're starting to get a bit of confidence. Like, hey, I don't care who I'm playing up against. Like, this is one of the best teams in the competition, but I'm still going to have a crack. So those little moments are starting to like connect dots in the girls' heads of, hey, we can do this.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, that's great to see. But Country Club Colts are coached by Combat, have a wealth of experience. So they always tend to sit kind of like 3 or 4 on the ladder, but always come back in finals just because of their experience. So that'll be interesting to see where that plays out. And you know what? Southern Storm lost a lot of their players this current season. So I'm really interested to see where that takes them, how deep into the finals that takes them. And UQ have a little bit of inconsistency, players moving in and out. But again, once they come finals time, they just have the experience in the coaching and playing group that I'm sure that they'll be in that top 2.
Yeah, no, for sure. A lot of their players would have played a lot of touch over the last sort of 15 months, going back to the UK from World Cup, So
crazy.
A lot of them probably, don't want to potentially play every Friday night and then, come round 8, rightio, coach, I'm in.
All right, I'm here. Lace up the boots. I'm ready to go.
Two or 3 weeks before finals and then I'm ready to rumble.
Yeah, love that. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. What about the men's? So we've got, if you look at the ladder, you've got Redlands at the top again.
Colts coming in second. What are your thoughts on the top 2 teams so far?
Look, it's Redlands won last year and they've got a very good team from my limited knowledge of the Queensland game. But just looking at, I've seen a few of the highlights, on the Brisbane Metro YouTube channel where they stream 2 games each week. And they do look really solid, the way that the Redlands are playing. You can see why they won last year and you can see, why they're going to be very difficult to beat this year and why they're currently top of the ladder. But it's very, very close. You've got the Southern Storm.
Close.
The Southern Storm, if you look at some of the names, they've got a really, really good team. Again, 0 wins, but they've been competitive in every match. You take away, I know coaches sort of say, let's try and improve for 60 seconds or if everyone reduces 1 error. You change 2 or 3 sets in a game where you turn the ball over, you don't make that error, you get a complete set, et cetera, et cetera. The complexity of the game totally changes. So
absolutely,
if they can improve their turnover rate, turn the ball over, Penrith Panthers footy, right? So turn the ball over on the other team's try line, put pressure, work hard, reward for effort, all the other, the little 1%ers and all the cliches that coaches say. Sorry, that's my bad.
Cliche alert.
Cliche alert. It's just going to, it'll change. The results will change. So, they have to start winning though, Southern Storm, or they're, going to be gone. But I expect UQ Rebels to win a few more games too. I think, with a comp that goes 8 to 10 weeks, consistency does always improve as, there might be newer players. Everyone can't play every week. That confidence of playing week in, week out. You'd know when you played Vawdon and you play.
Oh, absolutely. Have big
the
squads.
Weekly tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
The weekly tournaments are different to a weekend tournament. It's a different type of touch. You sort of improve as the season goes on. So, I think the next sort of 4 weeks, they'll sort of sound each other out and then they'll be, if we revisit it in about a month's time, we'll really see who we think will be the 2 that'll duke it out in the finals.
And when you're on the bottom of the ladder at the halfway point in the season, it gives you a really unique situation where people are going to take you lightly mentally. Like they're going to go into the game thinking, oh, we're versing Gold Coast, we're versing Southern Storm, they're coming last. But it also gives that team in that position that opportunity to, like you said, basically go, we just need to work on these little things and send a message that we're not going to go away. And when you have a team that comes up against them with that mental, thinking they're underdogs. Like, what am I trying to say? Help me out.
Hungry dogs run faster. You know what I mean?
There you go. Yes. So I think
stay committed to the process. Keep training.
Correct.
Keep working hard.
Commit to the cause.
If you follow your processes and you keep training hard and putting in, the results
you can knock
will
a few of those teams
turn.
off.
Absolutely,
yeah,
they will.
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. And like you said in the men's, look at the bloody scores and the for and against and points.
Yeah.
It's so close. It
very,
is
very
so
close.
so close. So yeah, I have full confidence Southern Storm could ruffle a few feathers. Cliche alert. Gold Coast men's are sitting in fourth. What are your thoughts on that? Because usually they're
yeah, they are. But Pete's not playing, and there's a couple of other. Again, they've got a lot of younger guys that look like they're playing. Again,
Drum's not playing either.
No, so you take out two of the best in our game, right?
Yeah.
So big gaps to fill. So the younger guys really need to step up.
You wanted to say big shoes to fill, didn't you? And you held yourself back there. I saw it in your face.
Penalty. Cliche alert.
Yeah.
So, look,
I agree.
They'll get there. Again, they've got good coaches, who are setting the right path. And I think that they'll improve as the competition gets on, and they'll be, right there to fight it out with, I think Redlands, who are the team to beat.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, what's your grand final preview look like? Who are you calling if you had to say two teams in the men's? Obviously keeping these current standings in the back of your mind, but also sort of your background knowledge on what you've seen and what you know they've achieved in the past. Who are you calling your top two?
Oh, I think Redlands will play UQ in the grand final.
Ooh, Redlands UQ.
Yeah, I just think UQ will improve. Really, really good squad. They're the two that I think will duke it out.
Yeah. It's going to be a really close one for me. I think Redlands are definitely there, and then I can't call it between Colts and UQ in the men's. I think UQ have a really unbelievable running style, fast, up-tempo game, play as a really cohesive team. So that always is bloody brilliant to have in the back pocket for finals.
Yeah, it bodes well, doesn't it?
Country Club Colts, you can't go past them because of the talent and individual talent that they have in the team. Just the individual talent amongst them, I think that will really help them stay heavily involved in a top two position. Women's, what are your thoughts on the women's? Who do you think top two?
Oh, look, again, I'm so boring. I'm going to say UQ and Redlands.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, just looking at the players that are sort of been listed from the various teams each week, the team list Fridays or whatever. That's my uneducated opinion. What do you think as the expert?
Look, I mean, going into before this season, UQ Redlands would have been my top two picks. But looking at the standings, yes, Southern Storm have had 2 losses. Redlands and UQ both haven't had a loss. But if you look at the against tries, and this is something that my eyes get drawn to whenever I'm looking at a standing, Southern Storm have only had 8 scored against them. So that tells me that they're a team that's willing to put their body defensively on the line, and willing to come to the table in terms of we're not letting anyone through us. Defense wins games. So
here we go. Cliche alert.
I did it. I didn't even realize I did it. And I just said it. It just
but you're spot
popped
on,
out of my
right?
mouth.
You're right, because it's effort. You want to be there for your teammates. You want to work hard, pride in your line. Yep. It's a really good
Defense
point.
wins games. So, I think Southern Storm are going to be up there. If UQ get their full unit back, I can't go past them. Redlands, I think, will definitely be there. I just can't go past whether I'm going to give that 2 spot to UQ or Southern Storm. UQ because, yes, they've had the experience there. They've got a wealth of experience in individual talent and great coaching staff. Southern Storm have just lost to them last year in the Metro and Queensland State Cup and the year before as well. So I think they're just sort of yearning for a win. But like I said, they've lost a lot of players. So I think that might be the reason they've focused so heavily on their defence this season. Yep. So, I can't really call it right now, but they're my top 3 at this point for finals.
All right, Danny. So we've got Vawdon starting down in Sydney, and we're going to start with the Women's Premier League team. There are 9 teams. I'll read them
Wow.
out if that's okay. We've got Wests, Wallsend, Penrith, Norths, the Northern Beaches, your team, the mighty Manly Seagulls,
Woo! Shout out to the girls.
the East Roosters, the Dolphins from Central Coast, and the Canterbury Bulldogs.
Yeah, wow. 9 teams. That's brilliant.
9 teams. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
You know,
keeps it competitive. Just quickly, for those who don't know, the Vawdon Cup, and I didn't actually say this with the Metro Cup before, they're the Premier League competitions for the men's and women's in both Queensland and New South Wales. So we just covered in the last segment the Metro Cup, which is the Queensland Brisbane-based Premier League competition. And for New South Wales, we have the Vawdon Cup, which is based all around Sydney but run by New South Wales Touch.
yeah. So, Danny, I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you give me who are the top 4 teams for the Women's Premier League for Vawdon Cup?
So I'm going to put Manly in there because I have to. No, I'm kidding. I love my Manly team. A lot of the girls aren't playing, I don't think. I think there's a few that need a break as well. So it will be a different team, but like I always will put them in a top 4 because of the depth that they have at the club. The one and only Bella Slattery at East Roosters. She's bloody on fire at the moment. Next level. And she's just come off the back of a very successful Origin campaign and Aussie campaign. And I think that she's now stepping into that leadership role. And championship. She killed it in the final of the championships too.
Yeah.
She's mustered a really, really good culture at East, and she's got a lot of girls buying in and wanting to give it a red hot crack. So they're going to be a really hard team to beat.
Yeah.
Because they don't have many changes, I believe. I need to confirm that, but I don't think they do.
Mm-hmm.
Always put Canterbury in your top 4. That's just a rule of the thumb in women's touch.
Yep.
And I say that with the experience in playing, but also the experience in their coach, Pete Forrester. Had him for Origin this year. I would do a whole episode on that, purely that. He was unbelievable. I learnt so much from him, even in my 31 years. He was amazing.
Danny, quickly, there's that really nice photo that I think New South Wales Touch might have
for
put up.
Origin.
Yeah, with you too.
Yeah.
It was such a nice photo. And I think it just, we will do an episode on Origin, but
Yes.
that sort of summed up, what Origin's about.
Well, for me, it really epitomised the last 10 years of heartbreak and relief that I felt in that moment after winning, having to wait since 2014 when I first debuted. And getting that win with Pete, who, like I said, I could seriously talk about this for days, but he, as a coach, I've had so many brilliant coaches, and I could do an episode on all of my coaches, really could. Mm-hmm. He just had so much belief in me in a way that I've never been believed in before. And I say that from a leadership perspective. It was unbelievable. And I think what we were able to achieve in that New South Wales women's team will forever go down as one of my top 3 highlights in my career forever.
Yep.
It was unbelievable. And every time I look at that photo, that's what I see. And that's how. So yeah, Canterbury, 100% putting them in my top 4. Top 4, I'm going to go Wallsend.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Wallsend because I played against them in a quarterfinal at last year's State Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Zali Chippendale plays for Wallsend.
Yep.
They're bloody young, quick, fast. And I believe they were in the final last year, were they not, for Vawdon?
Yeah, they were. Yes.
Yeah, against Manly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were great. So they're my top 4. So I'm going to go, East, Manly, Canterbury, Wallsend.
Oh, we're so boring. I've got the same 4 teams. So, yeah, sorry, listeners.
That's okay.
It's just, it's a younger comp. There still are a lot of the other teams that are developing, and that will improve as the competition goes on. But I those 4 are just too good.
Yeah,
and
stand out
just
for.
that next level above.
Yeah, agreed.
Danny, if we switch over to the men's, there's 10 teams. We have Wests.
That is so good. That is awesome.
It's really good. New South Wales Touch. Shout out to Dean and the team at New South Wales Touch. The numbers have continued to grow for Vawdon. A couple of years ago it was a little bit stale. They changed the format. Numbers were declining. You can see shorter format.
Yeah, they condensed it. Yes.
They did.
That was such a smart move.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, shout out to New South Wales Touch. So we've got Wests, the Sharks. We've got Penrith, Para. We've got the Northern Beaches, Manly. We welcome the Maitland Redbacks into Men's Premier League.
Fuck, that's a trek. That's what 2.5 hours?
Two and a bit
yeah.
hours. Mega touch heads up in that area, though. They
Yeah,
live
wow,
and
okay.
breathe it. They love it.
Oh, good.
The Central Coast Dolphins, the Canterbury Bulldogs, and the Bankstown Jets.
Bankstown, yes.
So, Danny, give me your top 4 teams in the men's, please.
Okay, I wrote down 6, but I need to condense it, and I'm gonna give some honourable mentions.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do that. So, honourable mention to Penrith,
Okay.
because I don't know who's playing. So they're not in
okay.
my top 4. If they've still got majority of the same team that they usually have,
Mm-hmm.
yes, top 4. If
Okay.
it's like a new era,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. And honourable mention to Manly.
Okay.
Honourable mention to Manly because I think there's a really big culture change in the men's program there. And I think that they're all buying in and really trying to work towards something special. And it's something that we're doing currently at Gold Coast Women's too. So I think I sympathise with that and empathise with that. And I really believe that in the next year or two, they will be a top 4 team. So honourable mention.
Okay. So we'll do a
And
State
again-
Cup preview, Danny.
Yes.
I've done predictions and I've tipped Manly will miss the finals every year for the last 3 years. And I used to call them, should be sponsored by Jeans West because they're going to need a pair of jeans on Saturday night and Sunday night.
Oh.
Shout out to Scrono.
Yeah.
But when they win,
Jeans.
geez, I cop it from the Manly guys. They text me, they message me, they get stuck into me.
Good.
Oh, they're going to.
Yeah. Sucked in.
But
Yeah.
I think they took a step last year. I think they're going to take a bigger step this year. So
I agree.
I think they'll make the finals in December at State Cup. You
Me
heard it here
too.
first, Danny. So
Yep, I totally agree, Mitch. Totally agree. And you know what? Just quickly on that, Manly Women's Touch before we won for that era
15
period of
in
time,
a row or whatever you've
something
won.
stupid, something so just 15 in a row, whatever it was. We lost every game that I first played in when I debuted with them. We literally lost every single game. Like I can't even describe how bottom of the barrel we were. And we just had a huge culture change. Barry Gibson, shout out to Baz. He definitely won't be listening because he's not tech savvy. Like he's the type of guy that runs around with his car on like fuel light, literally flashing all day and won't put petrol in his car. That's how hopeless he is. So he
Baz.
definitely won't be listening. Bloody Bazza. But he had a huge culture change for Manly Women's, and we were able to achieve something really incredible. And I think Manly Men's are on the same path.
Okay.
Same path.
There we go.
So my top 4,
Here we
further
go.
ado, drum roll. I've got Central Coast, and purely because of Chris Lennon.
Yes. Number 1 player in the
freak.
game.
He's a
Unbelievable.
freak. I've got Para, and again, purely because of Kai Simberlin, because I think those two head-to-head, and it happened in the final last year, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Then I've got Wes, because I don't know if Trouty's coaching. He could be, but he's just so smart. So I think he's just going to know how to ruffle feathers and get people in the right positions and defensively get his team doing what they need to do to make finals. And then Bankstown. Bankstown's in my top 4. So yeah, Central Coast, Para, West, Bankstown, top 4.
Okay. So I've had a bit of mail that Luke Kane might not be playing and Josh Moffat.
Inside knowledge.
Again, they've played a lot of touch. So I believe they might
Yes.
not be playing to start with, is what I've heard.
Right. So they're going to be coming back in like 2 weeks before finals going, coach, put me in.
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Nice,
Dunno.
okay, no, nice.
No. So, we'll have to sort of see. But I've got West definitely being there. You know, they really improved last year. The Catalano boys were both outstanding
Yes.
at Origin. They've got, they're always rock hard fit. They'll be there.
Yeah.
I've got Para there as well. They've got, really, really good team there with Joshy Phillips coaching. I think Bankstown are the team to beat. And I think that they'll have a really, really big year. And I'm going to give you a smoky. Yeah, I'm going to give you a smoky, Danny, for the 4th. I'm going to pick the Young Sharks to take a big step up. So they jumped up last year, and I think they made the finals and then got knocked out in the elimination. I think they finished in the
Good
top
on
6.
them.
I
That
think
would
that they
happen
can.
to be like Archie Rose and those kids.
Yeah, it is.
Ah,
It
okay,
is.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
all
now
those
I want
boys.
to change mine.
Yeah, so we're on Team Sharks.
Up the Sharks, fins
Go
up.
the Sharks. Yep. Up, Cronulla. So, yeah, that's who I've got as top 4, but I think Bankstown will win it. I think they're going to.
All right, cool. We can do a wrap up, I guess.
All right, Danny, that sort of wraps it up for this week. We've got a guest coming on next week. Who are we looking at having on board?
I don't want to give it away, so I'm going to give you guys a few clues and see if you can
Okay.
piece it together.
Sure.
So she's blonde,
Mm-hmm.
tanned,
Mm-hmm.
loves Ibiza, is a party angel, and she has 5,436 followers. You guys can do the girl math to work it out.
Danny, did she appear in State of Origin in drunk dancing videos on TikTok with you?
No, it's not Chelsea Highmarsh.
Rightio. Look
That's
forward to
so
next
good.
week, Danny.
Yeah, me too, mate. See ya.
See ya.